And I feel like when I'm the best version of myself in sport, that translates to the rest of my life. Because if I can control myself mentally under all the situations that I've been through, under World Cup tournaments, under finals in a World Cup tournament, in the Olympics, I know that I can control myself mentally in a way that can translate well into the rest of my life, and that I can be a successful person. I just gone to the Lancaster Classic with my compound bow. And I remember I was driving back with my father and I was really angry with how I did there. I didn't really do that well. I remember distinctly that Alexis Ruiz was actually shooting on my target, and she obviously really beat me really badly. And I didn't really have any direction in the sport. I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't know what I could do with the sport, because I really liked it. I had a lot of passion for it, but I didn't know what I could do differently with it. And I decided at that moment that I wanted to switch to Olympic recurve. And from that moment forward, it's just been a lot of hard work to try and make the Olympics happen, because I knew that would be a big step. I knew that would be a big goal that I could go for. So obviously, I've done well at every World Cup this year. I finished 6th place in Guatemala City, 4th place in Lausanne, and then 5th place in Paris. And then obviously qualified for the World Cup final. And now we're here in Yankton shooting World Championships. And I also qualified for the Olympics this year, and that was great. And I would say that the journey to get to this stage in my career and this stage of my shooting was through all the hard work that I've done since I started with recurve.
That's a long journey, and I think people could look at just this year and think like, oh, he just got really good this year, but there was a long journey, and since I've known you, many years of you to get to that point, to be able to have those performances and get to that level.
Very solid. Look at that for a finish as well. An X 29 plays 28. Nicky, you've got a feel for Nicolas Damour. He's well, as you said, it's his first experience here in these conditions in a gold medal match with the cameras on him.
I would say that the biggest difference that I feel in RamRods versus other stabilizers is the vibrocore really dampens any kind of residual vibration that I might feel. Also, it's really stiff, so I don't have any kind of flop in the stabilizer. Everything is really dead in the hand, really stable. And in terms of like my setup, I shoot with a 27-inch front stabilizer and 15-inch side stabilizers with no extension. And for me, that's the best setup, because I like to have my stabilizers angled down and have the weight stack further back, because it gives me more stability in any kind of situation, whether it be in wind or in the calm. I feel a lot better stability like that. The follow through, a lot of people like to complain that when you have your stabilizer set up like that it doesn't flip the way that they want it to, but for me that's not really important. I don't really care about the way it flips. I just care about the way that I can aim the center and shoot. And especially right now I've just started using tungsten weights, and I feel like it gives me all the stability that the stainless steel did, but just easier to control because it's a shorter weight stack, so I can control it physically better when I'm shooting. And in the wind too, it's a lot easier to control because of the weight stack. I don't have like that much weight out front.
In your archery journey up to this point, you've obviously had, like many archers, ups and downs. What would you say was like that biggest challenge you've had to face? And then what did you learn in overcoming that to move forward?
Probably just mentally controlling myself in tournaments. Like, my biggest hurdle is just shooting a good qualification round. And I always have that issue. Like at home, I can shoot over 690. I've shot 700 in the past, but I've never been able to do it in competition. But for example, like in the matches, I always pull myself together better in the match play because it's only 3 arrows and I can just control myself mentally better. But I would say that when I learn to be in the present moment at all points in my life, at all points during the competition, I can really control myself better mentally in the match play, and that's what really matters.
A bit more shaking from this side, a little soft shot maybe.
It does. A great shoot from Nicolas Damour of the US Virgin Islands, and genuine congratulatory hugs, commiseration hugs, depending on which side you're standing.
We all try and shoot our best in tournaments, try and finish really high, try and put together great performances, great scores, and that attracts a lot of attention. And people kind of are drawn to winning for different reasons and interpret performances in all sorts of different ways. And I guess we wanted to ask, you more specifically, the hard work and the success you've had this year, what do you hope that communicates to people?
What I hope it communicates to people is, for example, like I'm from a very small country. I'm from the US Virgin Islands. It doesn't matter where you're from, it doesn't matter what you do, it doesn't matter what kind of facility you have, it doesn't matter whether you have $30 million facility like the US team does in Chula Vista. It doesn't matter. It's about the hard work that you put in. It's also about the coaching that you have. My home range is just a target that's up in my backyard. It's not about the facility that you have, it's not about where you're from, it's about the team that you have behind you, it's about the trust that you have in your team, it's about the love that you have for each other. And that's what's really important for me. And having that kind of confidence and having that kind of connection with the people that you're around just creates a much more positive environment for training and a much more positive environment to really grow as an athlete.
I like that answer a lot. You've probably been through a handful of interviews now, talked to a lot of people about archery. Are there any questions that you haven't been asked that you wish you've been asked?
I would say a lot of people kind of like to, they like to focus a lot on who I am and what I do and how I've come to this level, but they don't see everyone behind me. Like, I always say to people that they say, oh wow, you're so amazing, you've done so much with this sport. And I always say to them, I just do everything that everyone else would do if they'd had everything that I'd been given to them. I remember when I was just starting out in Olympic recurve archery, I used to say to myself, I'm the best archer in the world, it's just no one knows it yet. I used to say that to myself when I was 16 and I could barely shoot a 600. And I think that mindset is what has created such a positive growth for me. I've been given a great federation that supports me. I have a great Olympic committee who supports me 100%. Just because of that, I've been able to grow so much, and my own personal mindset that I've set for myself has allowed me to grow so high.